Welcome to a special edition of the CK Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, our very own Cody Demps, Sac State.
Hey, what it do, baby?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad to
Also,
be here.
Kings player, mechanical engineering degree, very smart, can do it all. Man, how do you do it all? Like, how did you go through college? Through a degree that's so difficult to go through, but still maintain your basketball career.
So a lot of help. Right. Yeah, I got a lot of help at Sac State. So math was always my thing growing up. I always loved math. Going into Sac State, I knew I wanted to do something with engineering. So I did a little research before that. And so before I actually committed there, I made sure that it was cool because I knew like the schedules might kind of mess up because there's like labs later on in the day that might mess up with the practice schedule. Right. So Coach Cass over there was extremely helpful, like kind of moving around practice sometimes if need be. So yeah, a lot of help from them on that side and also from the engineering department up at Sac State. A lot of cool people, a lot of great professors over there. So I got a lot of help.
Do you still keep in contact with all those people?
Yeah, I actually do. Like Susan Hole, she's one of my favorite people. Right. She's one of the professors over there, and so try to stay in much contact with her as possible because really enjoy it.
So what's the grind been like after school? How do you plan on using that degree post NBA career? Because there's a lot of NBA athletes who don't know what to do after.
Yeah, for sure. Like even I'm not really totally sure what I want to do. But going into it, I always wanted to kind of have like the degree in my back pocket. Right. You never know what might happen. Some injury might pop up. Might be my last day playing basketball ever. So always wanted that kind of in my back pocket just to kind of as a backup plan. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'd like to explore my options. Over the summer, they actually have this like kind of job shadowing platform for the NBA, which I did called NBA Career Crossover. So went and visited the Vans facility down in SoCal, and also visited the YouTube facility out in the Bay Area.
How was that?
So it was awesome. It was cool seeing all like the great minds that work there. A lot of creativity flowing over there for sure.
So this is one of the questions that I like to ask most NBA players. Do you love basketball? Because there's a lot of guys who are so talented and gifted that it comes natural to them, but some guys have different loves and different passions outside of basketball. They see that as a job.
Yeah.
How do you see basketball?
I see basketball as a job now, but there's always that passion that I've had for it ever since I was young. As long as I can remember, I've kind of had like basketball in my hands, playing hoop on a little Nerf hoop. In my family, in my family's like dining room. My mom telling me stop dribbling the ball because it's making too much noise. So the passion was always there, and kind of that passion kind of turned into a job, which I'm super thankful for, being able to work and do something that I love. So, yeah.
How do you tell the younger generation, my godson's right in front of me, who wants to become a professional basketball player, how do you tell them that maybe the NBA is not for you, but you can use basketball as a platform to take you to different places? How do you manage or balance the school aspect, the basketball aspect, your other passions? Like, what type of advice would you give these type of kids?
Yeah, so if there's something that you love, I would obviously pursue it all out. But I also think that's super important to have balance growing up. Being too focused on one thing, I see a lot of people that were like really good at basketball maybe when they're in the younger age, but then their parents kind of put them through too many workouts, too many training where that's all they thought about was basketball, and they kind of got burnt out. So that passion kind of burnt out. So I think it was super important. Like me growing up, my parents always emphasized school first and then sports second, and not just sports or not just basketball, it's sports in general, playing football, baseball, all those types of stuff growing up. So I think balance is super key.
So you've played on the Stockton Kings team. You played this year. You got signed on a 10-day contract with the Sacramento Kings, your hometown team, my hometown team, the team that you loved and grew up watching. What was that feeling like?
Man, it was surreal. Getting that call from the general manager of our team, from Anthony McClish, saying the Kings want to sign you to a 10-day.
That's awesome.
Man, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I couldn't wait to like call my dad up and tell him the good news. So he was one of the first people that I let know. And so yeah, I think I just remember just shaking. Like I couldn't stop shaking just out of pure excitement. So yeah,
no bang energy, just pure shaking.
Exactly. I can't imagine what would happen if I had energy drink. I don't know what might have happened, but yeah,
that's awesome, man. So you went through that process. What was your biggest takeaway being around all these pros?
Biggest takeaway is probably just kind of like the professionalism that they deal with it. Kind of like everyone was joking around, but when it came down to it, whether it was the game plan or maybe the practice the day before, everyone was super serious and super locked in. Because you really have to be prepared. Kind of the preparation kind of what makes that difference. Because you see guys, you play against a team maybe like 6 or 8 times in a season, and so you really get to know these guys. And so the little details kind of what separates those game plans and those what ends up being wins in the end of
And
the
those
day.
little details is being a professional, right? Class
Yeah,
act.
exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. Also coming down to like the game plan, whether you're watching film, knowing guys' tendencies and things like that.
Because I used to cover the G League full time back in school when I was in Reno, at University of Nevada, Reno.
Hey, okay.
And
Wolfpack.
obviously we had, that's
Yeah.
right,
My
Wolfpack.
brother went there.
No way.
Yeah, he played football there.
Did I cover him? I graduated in 15.
Yeah, so he was
What year did you do it?
he was graduated high school 2014. So yeah, he was probably there. Wyatt Demps, number 19.
Yeah, I covered him. I think I interviewed. I was the first one to actually interview him.
Really?
Over the phone.
Sure, I might have to ask him to see what's up.
Yeah, I was working with Silver and Blue Sports at the time,
Yeah.
and I actually interviewed almost every single member of that recruiting class.
Oh, you for sure then.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to El Grove. He went
Pleasant
to
Grove.
Pleasant Grove.
Yeah.
Remember that. But going back to the point of covering G League, I see a lot of guys that are extremely talented, and you ask yourself, like, why isn't that guy on an actual NBA squad?
Yeah.
And I felt like, and I came to the conclusion of the talent is not this. It's
Oh, no.
it's so minimal,
Yeah, for sure.
and to me, it's like being the class act, just being a professional, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I see guys like my guys like AT, Anthony Tolliver, who's been in the league forever. Organizations like to have glue guys that are good locker room guys, and some of these guys just don't get it. In G League, they're extremely talented, but what type of advice can you give these guys that are just so talented, but it's not there in terms of commitment of being a real team player? Like, they're super talented on an individual standpoint, but that whole team aspect, doing the right things, the little things that
Yeah.
you've talked about.
So yeah, like you said, there's a lot of talent in there, but like a lot of the people that are gonna come out of the G League, they're not really gonna be like all-stars or guys that are gonna get the ball every time. So what gonna set you apart is, like you said before, those little stuff like being a good guy in the locker room and things like that. That's really what kind of the GMs ask about, because they'll ask around. I've heard people ask like the equipment managers.
Right.
They're getting calls from different GMs saying, "Hey, like, what's this guy off the court like?"
Yeah.
So NBA teams, they do their research, and so yeah, they'll ask around. So being conscientious of all the decisions you make on and off the court too.
So what type of things are you doing in the community right now as we speak?
Right now, trying to get together, trying to plan actually one of the little events that we're trying to plan, trying to put together kind of like a kickball tournament, kind of
Nice.
for charity. And so
Nice.
I think being in the community, I know a bunch of people that are around in the community would love to help out. So I think we're trying to put that together, trying to.
We'd love to help out, by the way,
Oh,
Justin.
For sure. For sure.
Do you know what day that is? Details
Still
of
in the
that?
plans.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And as soon as we find out, we'll share on all socials. So that event, is that going to a particular charity, or is it,
We still haven't decided yet. I
Okay.
know Eric Armstead's kind
Okay.
of charity that he works with students and stuff like that.
Yep,
So that's
great
one of
guy.
the main ones that I want to support. And so yeah, just trying to put together the details because I know it'll be fun and for a good cause. So yeah.
So basketball, Stockton Kings, what you expect from Cody Demps this season?
Man, hopefully bring it up to another level. Been trying to improve each and every season as I've been getting older, getting smarter, getting wiser. So hopefully, take it up a notch. One of the main things I've been working on is my three-point shooting.
Right.
Want to try to improve that percentage because one of the things I got a lot of feedback from is they want guys that are going to get the ball from the superstars, get those
Yeah.
kickouts, and be able to knock down those shots consistently. So doing that and keep on doing my thing on defense.
Which is all the little things, right?
Yeah.
You make all the winning plays.
Exactly.
Now it's just that next shot, which I feel like if you do develop that shot,
Yeah.
you're going to have 29 teams, 30 teams calling for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the plan so far. So hopefully it goes well.
Alrighty. Is there anything else that you're doing in the community that people should know about before we end this? 'Cause I know you have to be at practice very soon, so I want to respect your time.
Nah, nothing really in particular. Just looking forward to next season. I know with the Stockton Kings, we'll have a lot of opportunities to be able to reach out in the community. Like last year, we did a kind of like a toy drive where we went to Walmart, bought a bunch of families gifts and stuff, and were able to deliver to those families, and also went into a homeless shelter where we serve food to them. So a lot of those opportunities will be there, and I look forward to taking part in them.
Actually, one last question. NBA talk. I'm sure you're an NBA fan.
For sure.
There are at least 10 teams who we can actually say has a chance to make it to the NBA Finals this year. First time we have a lot of balance with no super team down over there on the other side. I want to name them.
I know that was tough.
So, as of right now, today, October, what are we? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th?
Yeah.
I lose track of days. October 10th. Who do you got going to the finals?
Man, that's really tough. Like, I like to put me on the spot right now.
Yeah.
I like to see all the preseason games.
Okay.
So I haven't even got to see.
All right, top 2 teams in the East, top 2 teams in the West.
Top 2 teams in the East. Man, I couldn't even name them right now.
For me,
It's too early.
Sixers, Bucks.
Yeah.
I like all the
I
acquisitions.
watched the Sixers preseason game the other night.
Nice.
Ben Simmons hitting that three.
Okay, so how do you feel about that? So a guy that's never really shot he's shot a 3.
Oh, yeah.
They make such a commotion about it. Is that more of like, ha ha ha, you've never shot, or is it like come up type moment where it's gonna change his career in terms of balancing out his game? Or is that to me it's like, bro, you're a professional, you should shoot threes. Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But they made it into a huge deal.
Yeah, I think part of it, a little bit of mental. I think they kind of got into his head. Like,
Yeah.
that's the worst feeling when you get kicked the ball and someone says, "Hey, let him shoot." Like, he's not gonna make
that
it.
sucks,
So that's
yeah.
easily the worst feeling. But I think it's also because he's just so dominant at everything else. They're trying to basically playing their cards, saying, "All right, this might be his weakest suit. We're gonna have to live with that." So yeah, I think I know he's been putting in work. I've been watching the workout videos on like Switch Culture and things like that. So I know he's been putting in the work. So we'll see.
What do you like about this current Sacramento Kings team?
Man, let's see.
Do you see them making the playoffs this year in the tough
yeah,
West?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I like the youth. I like all the guys that they brought in. I think what's gonna set them apart is I think the coaching staff that they brought in, kind of some new blood, kind of some invigoration, kind of some new eyes just to see the game, and so I think that's kind of set them apart.
There it is, guys. Where can people follow you, Cody?
On Instagram, Cody Too Easy, and yeah.
That's going to do it, guys. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget to subscribe. Drop a review if you enjoyed this podcast. Make sure to follow my guy. He's doing great things in our community. And we always, always thank people like him who make a true difference. See you guys on the next one.
We got too many people up in here. We brought nothing in this world, so we can't leave with it. People acting like it's money. Give the air you breathe in. Take it deep, repeat. Plotting for increase, counting sheep. We sleep, striking out, we keep on missing it. The point.